Big E, second time's a charm.
I didn't know if you were gonna like be honest about it or.
What, you think I'm gonna lie about it? No, this is the second time we're recording this. We had some camera issues in the first one, but that's just
You think
habits.
a filmmaker would have gotten it down? I said you think a filmmaker would have gotten it down.
Yep. See, really, is that the route we're going? Because you're the one who recommended these cameras and this whole entire.
No, that's what I'm
setup.
saying. You think I would have got it?
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me.
No, because I was the one who I was like, let's just manually focus so don't lose focus.
As I literally looked at it, I was like, really? We just started this. Really?
No. I was
like,
no, that was definitely a me thing. I definitely manually focused it. So.
All right. Well, real quick before we get into this, I want to let you guys know that this podcast is sponsored by SCUF Gaming. Go check them out, SCUFgaming.com. Use code KOSDFF for 5% off all your purchases. And I'll put a link to the TK controllers down there as well. But I wanted to show you guys their Vantage controller today. Last time I did one of these shout outs to them, I showed them the controller, but I didn't show them like it all customed out. I showed them like the basic model or whatever. But it does obviously. I showed you guys in that video that like everything comes off this thing, from the D-pad button to the faceplate, everything. So obviously it's all customizable, and I used their little packs over here to make it my own, which I wanted to change it into black and white. This controller was blue before I fucks with it, but you can change absolutely everything. But I also wanted to show that you can remove the rumble packs. I thought that was like probably the coolest feature because I started getting into playing single player games again, and there was a couple of them. I think it was Days Gone, where you actually need you need the rumbles or whatever, because we did this before. You actually need the rumbles, so I was able to even just put one of them in just so I'd have it a little bit. But they're actually removable that easily.
I still can't believe that. Dude.
Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible.
So what are the extra? What are those things?
It's just the extra, thumbsticks, the little trigger mounts, the D-pad, everything you can pretty much put on here. And then obviously this is a faceplate, and then you can change the little white rings around it. So obviously I took them off there and put them back on there because I originally just wanted the white rings on the blue one, but I like to change stuff up. So definitely go check them out. Of course, again, they've just released updates to improve their Bluetooth and their thumbstick drift. They also have a PC update. So if you guys are using controllers on PC, and we stand those people because I'm one of them, all those updates will be linked in the video description below. So definitely go check them out. I did it better the second time. The first time we talked like literally forever about like my history with SCUF Gaming and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, I wanted to save all this to when we get Duncan on here, and I'm gonna do that. So instead of spending 20 minutes telling you guys about my wonderful history.
Overall good company, amazing product. I know, like I said,
amazing supporters of the community. Gave me my first job. My first office.
Switched over to playing console more on stream and stuff, and I got the TK SCUF. So it's like I just never really understood the quality in them, and they're
they're without going incredibly into it like we did last time, is that they do such an amazing amount of innovation in these things, and not only for the features that they advertise. And I've always told them, even when I worked there, I was like, I don't wonder why you guys don't go in there and advertise all the changes you make to the controller to improve the existing Xbox or PS4 controller to withstand the mega gamer who plays 12 hours a day versus what the controller is probably designed for, with the gamer design, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day.
A couple hours after work.
And they're like, no, we can't do that.
Right.
I probably shouldn't say it's because, they can't be going there bashing the product that they're improving. Obviously, that's just not a good look for any company. So
it's crazy to see how far the community has come. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to like look at products like that and, just remember what it was like years ago versus now, because it's just like a representation of like where everything's came.
Yeah, they definitely like we're eventually going to talk to it with Dunk. I'm not going to do the same thing, but I was there right when they basically got out of the garage to the mega company they are today. And it's an interesting approach to business they've done, because they've sold a lot of their IP. They have been one of those companies that was really forthright with their innovation, knew how to protect it, and they knew how to market it. So I want to talk to Dunk because I don't know.
I think that's something that hurts a lot of like gaming, teams, people, brands, like
not going super professional right off the gate.
Not just understanding like paying for like the smart shit now, so that way long term like what you do is of higher value in the long run.
Yeah, because all that innovation, they don't just sell it to their customers, they sell it to the people who also make the controllers, which is always funny. And I don't know how much of their business is based on selling their IP back to Xbox and PlayStation.
Right.
But I want to obviously wait to Dunk of that. But we have more important news. Way more important news, and it's actually really funny because totally left it out of the first podcast, because me and this guy just talked for 2.5 hours about literally nothing, just bullshit.
Well, I mean,
reminiscing bullshit.
We did, but it was more of like It was a really good conversation. It wasn't just a ramble, but it was more of like I got to learn more about.
I might upload the audio like one day in the future because I still have the audio.
Yeah,
because the only thing that screwed up was the camera. So
I think it was just a good way for like me to learn a little bit more about you, and you learn about me. But like after that podcast, I was even thinking like, I don't think anybody's gonna be interested in that. Like that's just like a good.
They already
conversation.
know about me, so we're gonna definitely still learn about you. And that's funny thing is that obviously we're announcing Big E is joining Team Caliber. He's the newest TK member. And we completely forgot to talk about that. I made jokes about it throughout the whole thing. I was like, yeah, we can't remember to not announce you. And then,
and I'm just like, I'm not a pusher of it too. So like, I completely forgot about it. I really did.
But nah, he's gonna be, motivational speaker at Team Caliber. If you guys haven't gone and checked him out, all of his links will be in the video description below. He's a wonderfully talented videographer, designer, human being, happy-go-lucky, kind of guy. He's a streamer as well. Did I say streamer? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he's just like everyone else here in TK. We try to do absolutely everything. So you guys definitely go check him out. If you haven't noticed, he's been, in the streams, and he's obviously here at the house, and he lives really close by. Him and his wife are wonderful people, and
appreciate that.
Expecting to see a whole lot more of them.
That's a big thing with me. It's like we were just talking off podcast. Like that's a huge thing with me is, like I said, that's helped me in these last couple of years is I don't have anybody else to impress other than my wife. So it's really cool. So it's like whenever somebody's like,
we've entered the gauntlet now. All we do is roast each other for absolutely everything. We give each other the hardest time about everything. But then when someone needs a little support, we're obviously all there.
Yeah, I think that's what grows teams.
Unless it's him's fucking upload schedule. We don't believe that shit no more. Not that I can even roast him.
It's funny, like when I first met him and to now, like, I've caught on. It's just that's his meme. That's like his thing.
He makes great videos too. I don't even feel like I make good videos too. It's just that you get caught up in streaming. I like I said in the podcast I did with Sharp, I do feel like we're a little hard on ourselves because we try to do everything. Like if I concentrate on Twitch, people say where are the YouTube videos at? If I concentrate on YouTube, where's the streams at? If I concentrate on Team Caliber, they're like, where the fuck are you? You're not streaming or making videos. So it's like, it's on my own fault trying to do too much stuff at once, obviously, and there's only so many hours in the day. But, we're a little hard on ourselves for that, I feel like, but not so much in the last year. The last year has kind of been all our fault, is that we got all these sponsored content deals, and for the first time ever, I know for me, besides my 9 months at SCUF, or some of these other guys, it's our first like salary job.
Right.
So it was like cool to like work off kind of a salary, but it definitely hurt the rise and grind all day thing that we were doing for so long, which I actually celebrated because it was a nice break from, what I'd been doing for so long, which is wake up and work till I go to sleep every freaking day,
I'm going to check this real quick because
Why?
it just made a noise.
It made a noise?
We're good.
He's all paranoid now.
Well, like, because I just heard like a little click, and I'm like, oh, did it just shut off? But it must have. I think a cable must have just like relaxed and like fell down.
I don't know. So. Well, we'll see.
Better safe than sorry.
Because we don't have anyone running this thing. So like half of the way I have this set up is I really like this intimate kind of conversation thing where we can't see monitors, we can't see anything. Yeah. And all we can look at each other. All we can look at is each other.
And I didn't even think about like last week or a couple of days ago. God, it feels like time's flying by here, but I've only been here, like, I haven't even been here 2 weeks yet.
Oh, really? That's a fucking long time.
Thursday would be 2 weeks, but I mean, I was gone this weekend.
Time for us. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it? I know that's like that one vlog where like Sharp's like, I really like having you here. Yeah. Like, I like hanging out with you, and then you in the corner. Like, I can't wait till you go home.
Yeah. I was saying Sharp wouldn't say. I was like, but Sharp said something meaningful and touching. No way. No, that's not Sharp's style. Of course, the quip came in. But yeah, now what's impressions? Yeah, let's get the tea out. Like, what did you think about us? Because I know you knew Sharp and Ham a little bit from streams, but you didn't know me at all.
I think as like somebody that's a smaller quote unquote creator, like now, you know what I mean? Like in terms of somebody else,
small creators.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. But like still, like when you're like on the outside looking in, and it's like you guys are like a crew that's like been doing things for years. Mm-hmm. I think anybody like perceives a different perspective before you actually meet somebody.
We're not the exact same people.
Right.
The humor is all the same.
Yeah.
The humor is the exact same, but obviously
that's what I like about the group is like everybody's their little, chaos is like fucking wild.
Oh, he's the one that everyone's wondering if he's the same person off camera. I'm like, dude, if anything, he's like he tones it down a little bit on camera.
And Sharp is like not the father of the group, but he's recently a dad, which big congrats to him. But he's like the dad joke guy, like, it makes him so funny. And then you got Hams, which is just this chaotic. Yeah,
I got so sick of that.
Yeah, just this chaotic guy that's just like you never know what you get. Yeah,
is he as shy as you thought he would be?
No, to be honest, like I don't know,
Watch
man.
the pounding on the table.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't. There's not much. I didn't do much research with everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of went with the flow. So I didn't really watch much like,
damn,
Crispy and...
You watched me, though, right?
Yeah, Sharp, Hams, because it was more like IRL vloggy stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't get down on, like, gaming videos.
Yeah.
So, like, I seen their success, and I did watch, like, the Chaos vlogs.
But his are funny as fuck. He edits really well.
He's a different person in itself.
Yeah.
All the way down to his content.
Yeah, no, he's always been a wild guy. But yeah, no, a lot of people wonder. If I was watching me, or I watch, like, let's say David Dobrik, you wonder, are they the same people off camera? And I would say, like, with us, yes, but not as concentrated.
Well, that was like
spaced out a little more.
That was like one thing that helped is like, months ago, like meeting you guys for the first. I think I met most of the.
We're haunted.
I think I met most of or a couple of the TK guys in. I think it would have been DreamHack November. That's when I met like Hams.
Did we meet? You said we met. Oh no.
I seen you, but like you came to the event, you watched the final CS:GO match, and you guys were out.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I think your life was really consumed by Atlas at that time.
No, this is before Alice.
Really?
This is way before Alice. Yeah, no, this was I think that was weird as busy that day. Actually, we went to hang out with Soar.
Oh no, yeah. You guys got a limo and everything. You guys just didn't end up going to the Soar
house. We didn't get a limo. Well,
they did. Oh, they were all in like a limo.
I think it's because they had so many people that when you have 8 people and you're ordering a car, a limo is actually cheaper than ordering 2 cars.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. In some points, if you're in the city, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I knew like one thing that was like really nice for me because like I told you a couple months ago, and like I told Hams too. As I started growing my stream and like more of my content side, obviously I kind of wanted to get back into a team, you know what I mean? But I just didn't want to do like back in the day. Like I was a designer and it was a lot of the hype and a lot of the, the clout as they'd call it.
Yeah, 'cause you've been on a lot of teams. We talked about this last time. He's been on like every team. Big E's a little team hopper.
Yeah, right,
we got to worry about this guy.
But it was like, no, that's why what I wanted to clear up because like, as of last year, when I was kind of come back into things, I've even told you like there's a couple people that I had interest in, but it was nobody big even ever, like huge, because like I work with teams like TSM and like big guys. Like I work for some of their people, but I don't like ask them if.
When we all joined TK was tiny.
Yeah, but the thing is, what made me like really comfortable, like getting to know you guys is like you guys have your like core group, and that's where I really like wanted to. Like levitate to is like at the end of the day, like numbers can be one thing and like attention, but attention always dies out. Numbers can die out too. But when you have like a core, like it seems like you guys got a family. You're not. Yeah, perfect.
We're definitely a group outside of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. Like what's funny is you're kind of coming in like the beginning of the second wave because we had our core group and we were that way for like 2 or 3 years and we thought we got so lucky meeting each other.
Right.
That. We could just kind of expand it, bring people into our group, and our vibe would kind of like rub off on them. And it's most of the time it was someone moving on to like a better opportunity. So it wasn't so much they were leaving the team as we were fucking excited for them. That like hell yeah, like you definitely got to go do that. And then obviously there was ones that were you just went out to go find a new opportunity type thing. But it is heartwarming, to know that we still have that same core group. Like literally our numbers, like or I guess our roster right now is the exact same as it was like in the New York house and what a lot of our fans would call like the golden years of TK.
Yeah.
Outside of Dylan, because obviously he's playing out on a different team and doing all that stuff. But kinda actually, because he's going to Anaheim. My homie hit me up saying he needed a little bit of Skrilla to make it to the place, and I went ahead and just PayPal them. So I told him he didn't have to rep TK because I didn't want it to be like that. I kind of wanted it was like a personal gift. But yeah, I better see everybody cheering for the old squad because I got Gunjar. Cole Chan, Suda, they're all back together, and they're playing with TCM, which is someone that's like a long-time professional Call of Duty player. So it's pretty close to the old squad back together. It's all like ex-TK members besides TCM, which I believed subbed for us at one point. I could be completely wrong about that. So I better see everyone cheering for those homies here at Anaheim.
It's so crazy, like how we all like came from the same community, but then like how, because like the esports side, like I really never got like deep into that, and like you guys have a whole culture on it. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
we've been around for a while.
It's like in your blood.
We're not
you know?
like I wouldn't say we're like the OG teams because that takes away from them. So like your Optics, your Soars, your Obey. What's another team that was older than us? Like
FaZe,
pretty much all of us.
yeah.
I think we're actually like the youngest team in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I would say so because I remember. I think the first time I heard of you guys was like 2013, maybe.
We were 2013, but we weren't really like relevant in the Call of Duty scene.
Right.
I mean, we're obviously a Call of Duty team, but we weren't relevant.
You were
until, like,
growing
2014.
YouTube channel, right, at the time. Like you guys were getting some traction at that time.
Well, it was all Chaotic Silencer back then.
Is that what it was?
So we had gotten like 10 or 20K. We were all really concentrating on the main channel. And getting a whole bunch of content there. But yeah, no. So all of our channels kind of like slowly grew because we switched to COD content. And
right.
This was when COD was like golden on YouTube. You could literally upload you talking about anything over a gameplay and it would do well.
And I was talking with my viewers recently, and just like Twitch right now, it's definitely something that's like, I wouldn't say it's oversaturated, but it is pretty saturated right now. There's a lot of people that want to be like the next streamer and everything.
Oh, for stream, I was gonna say COD's not as oversaturated.
No. Like streaming as a whole. And like I was trying to explain to people, and I think you really get this, is like, yeah, everything comes in waves. Everything, trends come and go. Like I remember back in 2013 when they changed the YouTube layout, and everybody was like, YouTube's dead. YouTube's dead. This is going to kill YouTube.
They say YouTube's dead all the time.
Yeah, and it's like that.
But that recently has it been true.
That's the yeah. But no, I mean that's it. That's the reason why I guess you don't give up, is because like the next big thing might be around the corner.
Well, it's like I feel like some people get into their heads a little too much.
Yeah.
It's always been one of those things. Like I fell into YouTube. I didn't mean to do YouTube. It just was something I did. And I'll continue to do it up until the next thing happens. If the next thing happens, that's why I always tell everyone. I've always given that solid advice of save every cent you have. In this industry, you can actually, once you get to a certain spot, can make it just a stupid amount of money. And this is coming from someone from the real world.
Yeah.
Like I did college, I did grad school, I did get a job. I worked in the real world for a while before all this. So I know how, broke I was.
Yeah.
And how hard it is to convince another company to pay you $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year in a starting position to start anywhere with what value you bring. And this is from someone that has a decent education. So it's hard out there. So when it got to here, that's why, like, no matter how well my videos do or my stream or TK or any investment I've ever done, like, it's never really changed my lifestyle.
Right.
Now, obviously, you can look at the house and be like, oh, that's kind of bullshit. But to be honest, our house has costed the same ever since the New York house. It's literally the exact same amount of money. It's just New York houses cost a lot. And then we moved to Atlanta and got a really, really nice house and got kicked out of it. It cost the same. And then we had a whole lot of members, so we had to get a house that had like no amenities and just rooms. Yeah. And then, obviously we didn't like it there because they had no amenities and just rooms. It was boring. And then we got this house. They all costed the exact same.
Yeah, it's all perspective. It's like
our sponsorship deal has been the same with GFUEL for a number of years.
That's one thing I guess I tell designers, for example, because when I left my job to pursue a lot of this stuff, it was in design first. That was like the main focus. And like a lot of people were like, oh man, I want to do what you're doing. And it's like, well, it depends where you live. Like I was, the downside was Ohio is a really boring state, and that's why we're trying to move out, obviously. But the upside is like the cost of living there. Like you could make $20,000 a year and have a happy life.
Yeah,
like I mean, if you manage your money correctly. Yeah. I mean, even down south. I mean, this side of the United States, the market is just awesome. Like the houses that you can get around here compared to if you go out west, it's night and day.
Oh, that's the only reason that really kept us from going to LA, because we were originally planning when we were moving from the last house. I think it was like half and half. Half of us wanted to get like a really nice house here in Atlanta, and the other half wanted to go to LA. And I was just like, it came down to it. It was just like our standard of living here is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I mean, I feel like I'll probably never live in a house this nice ever again, and it's because we live in a place that has a really low cost of living, where if we spent the same money out in California, we'd be probably in an apartment.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
And just like the things you get here too, like people cleaning the pool or something like that, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I bet services probably cost the same out there, but like,
you think so?
I mean, we pay someone I think $100 a week to come clean.
Oh,
the
is that
pool.
all it costs?
Yeah, and the maids are $100 a week too to come.
Because we were looking at a house in North Carolina and it had a pool, and but everybody's like, "Oh,
well, if you own a pool, like, and you're the only people swimming in it, you
Yeah.
can just take care of it. Pools aren't really hard to take care of. The only reason why we hire someone is because we're renting,
right?"
and if something breaks on that pool,
Yeah.
it wasn't my fault. I paid this
Right.
expert to do it. You go talk to him, and they sign off on and usually the pool guy that works on the pool is the guy that's recommended from the homeowner.
Okay.
So every time that we've come into a home that had like lawn services and pool services, we just rehired their person at a reasonable rate that we think.
Yeah.
We kept our maids, of course. So our
Yeah.
our maids have been with
Yeah,
us.
you said they're like
Or house
family.
cleaners. I hate calling them maids. House cleaners have been with us for a really long time.
Yeah, you said they're like family to you guys. right?
Not family. That was like me kind of overstating. They're like really close with us though. Like I know them. I follow them all. Like they follow us. We talk. There's a bit of a language barrier, but like I know about their lives. Like one of them just had a kid. He's had another one on the way. It's really sad actually. The father had just passed away, and then I've worked with them because I guess the mom and the sister have retaken over the business, so they needed to know how to invoice and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say family. That seems like that's a little cotton candy-ish, but like it's we know them really well and we trust them. We also backed them. Like we met them in that first hellhole house that we were getting fucked with by the HOA because the homeowner didn't like them and shit like that. And the homeowner ended up turning on them, saying that because she was like ordering around being really mean to them and all this stuff. And they called me and they're like, hey, we feel bad because she recommended them, so it's kind of like they were her people. And she's like, yeah, we can't do this job here. She's being really mean. We're leaving. And I was just like, I know her. She is crazy. Like, no problem. And then they were shocked when I rehired them to clean the next house and the next house. Because they were good people. And no matter, just because the person that was in power didn't like them and couldn't boss them around, it wasn't like I'm going to just disrespect them. So they've always been really nice to us. And they put up with a lot of shit too. Obviously, we make them come a little later because if they come at like 9, 8 in the morning, sometimes no one will answer the door.
Oh yeah.
They learned that one time. They like messaged, hey, we came to your house. No one answered the door. I was like, oh man, like if you're gonna come here, please don't come like before noon, and not because we don't want you here.
Right.
It's just that I want to make sure that someone's gonna be there to unlock the door, type of thing. And obviously we're messy. Like they think they only clean the kitchens and the bathrooms, and our kitchen definitely gets pretty messy. And people have relied upon it, so they leave shit out. It's not like they're coming to just tidy up. It's kind of bad. Like they spend I think an hour and a half here every time, and all they do is the bathrooms in the kitchen. But I've learned from living in houses with a lot of people, having someone clean those areas that no one wants to clean just makes it so much better.
So much better. Yeah.
Like in this house, for having 5 dudes on, it's pretty clean. I would think outside of the piles of garbage,
Well, that's just all it is. It's 5 dudes like going through garbage. Like that's a lot of trash that you guys are going to go through. So it's expected.
My own trash. I kind of do everything in my own room because I don't like overflowing trash cans and stuff, and I'm kind of anal about that. So I kind of like, even if I eat something in the kitchen, I usually take it to my room and throw it away.
Do you ever feel like you'll get to a point where you're just like, I need my own? Like I need my own place.
I mean, that's a good question, but like I've had my own place once and it was fun. And I was only alone there for like 6 months before my girlfriend moved in. And outside of that, my house, I have a brother and a sister. So it's always been 5 people in my family home. And then straight out of there, I went into college and, we had like 5 people in a house. And then in law school, I moved into a house and we had 5 people. And then after that, we ended up moving out, and I had 1 or 2 roommates.
So you've really been like conditioned all your life.
Yeah, I've had communal type of living my whole entire life, which is funny because when you get people to move in and they freak out about certain things because they're used to having their own space and stuff, you kind of sit back and just laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just, that's because you don't notice it. Like I don't necessarily mind when the kitchen's a little messy, and whenever I cook, I usually clean everything that I'm going to use, and before I use it, and then I'm cleaning it afterwards, and I'm just used to doing that because even though my mother actually, no, I'm not gonna even defend them. My mom and dad are slobs too. Like they're terrible. They would yell at us about cleaning our rooms, and their room would be fucked up. Like their house now is fine because they look after it and they're retired, and neither one of them works. So they have all the time in the world. But our house has always been kind of a little messy.
It's just
I feel like everybody is, except for when they have company, they clean up. So you think everyone
never get
else
to see
is clean.
it. Yeah, that's where it's like you guys all got stuff to do. So it's just like you're doing your thing.
Yeah. So speaking of houses, how's your house hunt going? Because you guys are trying to move.
It's good.
Where?
Well, we're kind of back and forth. She's got a job offer in North Carolina,
I like North Carolina.
Hopefully.
Beautiful
hopefully.
there.
Yes. Yeah,
Really
it is. It is. And like, I think after like meeting a lot of you guys and us staying down here a couple of times, she's like, I just really like everybody, and I like that we'd be able to maybe move somewhere and like know people.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, like this market in this area, I think Stone Mountain, which is like 40 minutes away.
You don't have to live in this area. If I was me and my wife are trying to find a place, I wouldn't live here. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
This is like Richville.
Right. Yeah. And we found a lot of stuff in Stone Mountain, which is like 40 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, it's just like, I think Megan just likes the idea of comfort.
She's got a job offer.
I know.
Charlotte, right?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah, Charlotte's
and
nice.
she's even the one that's kind of like, if it doesn't work out, maybe we can just try to find a job down there since we actually know people and we can. But I'm like,
well, I can give you some good recommendations. I grew up in Charlotte. Like I'm from Huntersville.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
The whole
Yeah,
Huntersville, Cornelius, Davidson, Morganton, like that whole stretch of I-77 it was like my like squad area. Like that's where I'm from.
No, I mean, I think it's the move. It's not that. It's better.
Well, no, it'd be kind of
3 hours
because
is
then you
better
can
than
make me
9.
feel bad about making that drive because I don't go see my parents enough, and they live in Morganton, which is just a tad bit north of Charlotte.
Yeah,
I think it's north of Charlotte. Yeah, it's just a tad bit north of Charlotte. And I'm always just like, it's like if I go there, it's like 4 hours there, and then we have lunch, and then I got to drive 4 hours back, and doing 8-9 hours in a car in one day, like you know me. Outside of being in my room where I've got my massive computer with 9 screens and my dog and a zillion things to do, like if I'm just sitting there, I get hella bored. I can't stand
I gotta
driving.
call people or listen to podcasts.
You're one of those
or books.
people. My mother does that too. The only time I get a phone call from her, she's in her car.
Yeah,
I'm just always like,
I called Sharp yesterday on the way here.
Yeah.
Shot the shit with him. Yeah, it's not that bad of a drive. I guess it's just like, when we come down here now, it's 9 hours. 3 hours ain't shit compared to 9. So it's like,
yeah, true.
I will definitely take that.
You drove 9 hours to get back here?
Yeah, that's from Ohio. Yeah.
Sheesh.
So 2 weeks ago, we came down Friday night. So we drove 9 hours to get here. Stayed here to like Monday, I think was Labor Day or Memorial Day.
Everything flies by here.
I
couldn't tell you.
We drove back up to Ohio, and then 2 days later, I drove back down here. So I think I got to bring my truck into the freaking shop.
Really?
Yeah, it's only 3 years old too, but I put those tires.
How many miles do you have on it?
About to hit 30,000.
That's not bad.
But not bad at all. It's just I put rims and tires on it, so now I'm not going to be able to get because I think it's a wheel bearing from all the traveling, and when you put bigger tires,
that's the only reason why I didn't get rims on my car because I even tweeted out like I still got the little things bookmarked in my thing because I love rims. Like I've always wanted to get them. But we lived in New York. Wasn't putting rims on my car in New York.
Oh yeah,
that's just stupid. So and then we came down here and it was just like as much as and I'm one of those people like I'm not putting wheels on my car unless they're gonna fill the wheel well. I'm gonna get like 26s minimum.
Yeah.
Like not minimum, maximum, but like those are the tires I'd want. And like all I ever do is drive long. Like I don't ever just like I don't drive or commute to like anything. Like if we go out to eat, that's about as much as I drive.
Right.
Other than driving all the way to North Carolina or driving my friends somewhere. Like if we go somewhere, it's kind of a bit of a trip, and putting that amount of miles on some low pro tires, it's just dumb.
Or even big, in my case, big tready tires. I got to rotate those a lot, or it will like
because they're not meant for road, are they? For the most part,
they're like an advanced all terrain. So they're technically, but
advanced
like that much
all terrain.
Yeah, like that much tread. I'm like
exactly.
Yeah,
they're
If I feel like if they hum, they're not meant for the road.
Well, who knows? Actually, my tires are just about to go, so like I need to get new tires. I think my car. I think I'm right at I'm probably around 30,000 miles as well, and I think my car is like 4 or 5.
The thing with my truck is like it's spurts. I hit 20,000 miles at the beginning of the summer last year, and I think I put like 2,000 miles on it for like 8 months, and then it was just we did a lot of traveling this year, so it's been different. So
I haven't driven my car like really at all in a long time. I need to start driving it. I used to wash that thing like crazy because I would, ride around. I was always driving the squad around. It was a squad mobile. And we've been kind of chilling, streaming for a minute. And it just kind of sits there. It's all dirty.
No, that's one thing that I'm trying to like get everybody out of the house. I know you are too. I can see it.
But we were fucking roasting our teammates here a minute ago because apparently it's this recent thing that it's not. I mean, it's deserved. So I'm not gonna say it's not true. But like, there's this recent thing that's come out. It's like we got to get Justin out of his room, and it was totally true. Like a month ago, like all I was doing was streaming and playing Atlas and kind of hanging out with my like Discord friends, and kind of doing that thing. I kind of just like became like a hobbit for a while.
What's kind of the winner?
I had the fucking best time of my life. I mean, it was having so much fun, but at the same time, like I wanted to get out. And we were roasting him because it was just like, oh, we got to adjust on his room. And I was like, well, I've been putting out, I want to go on a cruise. I want to go to bars. I want to get tables at clubs. I want to go, take camping trips. I want to go on vacations.
And I was actually surprised from like just seeing it is like kind of getting to meet the people because of the first 2 times I met Hams, we were partying. Yeah. So I'm like, Ham's got to like going out, but he really doesn't. Like,
he usually, he does and doesn't. I think he gets scared when he goes out with us because he's gotten lost twice.
Yeah.
He gets so drunk that like we try to get him to go like, hey, we're going back to the house. And he just, we see him like 2 days later. It's like, yeah, man, like I had a hell of a night. Ended up taking a cab home at like 7 a.m. I'm just like, wow.
And then like Chaos is the guy that surprises me because he's like, every week I've been here, he's like, let's go do something tonight. You know what I mean?
You know who would surprise you at a club?
What?
It's the least likely person. Who do you think would be like the center of attention, life of the party at a club?
Probably Gone.
Gone just turned 21.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know then.
Sharp.
Really?
Believe it or not.
See, this is why I want to get him out.
Sharp gets a little tipsy, and he just gets this vibe to him. It's just smiling and laughing and everything. Like, you wouldn't think it, like, I think I've, like, Snapchatted it back in the day, is how long ago this was, the last time we all kind of went out. It's like, it's a sea of people dancing, and then there's Sharp's, like, 6'2" ass just two-stepping in the middle of the crowd having a fucking blast, and I was just like, I fucking love Sharp.
See, like, I feel like everybody has just, like, got to go out and have some fun with friends.
Yeah. If anything, I think Crispy not even so much. I think it's really just me I'm a little more reserved type of thing, because that's when I get a little buzz. I just kind of sit back and chill.
You know what's the hard thing? Being able to go out with your friends like that and just not drink. I think that's like a hard step for.
That's so hard.
For a lot of people, like people think that they have to drink to cut loose.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
I don't think it's that. I think if they go out and they see everyone drinking and they don't want to, it's like that's what turns them off. Because I'm not the biggest drinker in the world, but being a little buzzed at a club with music going and all your buddies around, like it's definitely a lot more fun when you're not all there. Because otherwise, you're sitting there and you're worried about dumb shit. How do I look? What are these other people thinking? All that self-conscious stuff. Not letting go and just kind of. And I have that problem because I'm not like a party person or a dancer. I'm definitely not a dancer. Like I have to be a little inebriated to like, kind of just let go of those social constraints and just be stupid. Type of thing because I just
that like floating effect.
And because I understand that, like I kind of sympathize with people, and you'll notice it if we ever go out, which I guarantee you we will, because I want to start pushing this agenda. That you'll see me and we'll get there. I'll just like have one-on-one conversations, and then I'll have like a few drinks and I'll definitely start branching out. But yeah, no, what I was originally saying was like we were roasting our teammates because I want to go do all these really, really fun things.
Yeah.
And then I get roasted for not wanting to go to Avalon.
Right.
Or go to Target.
Yeah.
Or like if we're all gonna go to Target, I'm like, okay, well I don't really need anything. I'm just gonna stream. They're like, oh, Justin never leaves his room, and I'm just like, it's fucking Target. Let me know when you guys want to go fucking vacation. Who wants to jump around Asia?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was like, while I'm down here, let's go to Florida for a weekend.
Yeah,
like let's get out and go to Florida for a weekend.
Yeah, or not Florida.
Well, like it's just because. Well, for me, for Ohio,
I want to go on a cruise. I want to go to the fucking Bahamas. The next beach I see is going to be white sands with fucking little drinks with straw hats and a whole bunch of dudes wearing Royal Caribbean shirts, bringing me everything I want.
Some IRL streams. I know Megan wants to do something for the 4th. She's got 4 days off work. Let's do something.
And the cruise is a bad example because people have flip-flopped. Everyone's good now. But there was a time where I was like, let's do a TK cruise. And everyone's like, we need to do this. We need to do that. Fuck a TK cruise. Like, I don't care about going. Then I slowly, I talked them all into it. So hopefully we're going to get on one in July. I think is the next time because June's a bit packed.
That'd be pretty cool.
So I need to start researching the packages for those because they're a really inexpensive way just to go have a lot of fun, and it really traps us together with 10,000 other people that we'll never see again. So I think it'll be a lot of fun, not even just for content, just to get out and have some fun.
To live.
Yeah. Crispy's the only one on that wave, so you'll catch it with everybody. Like,
I've noticed that.
Crispy's the only one that's just like, fuck it, let's go do it. Let's go have fun.
And I've kind of noticed, like I said, Chaos seems interested in things.
Well, Chaos's channel's really doing really well, so I think he's really interested in that.
Like I feel like he wants to do stuff, but he's like, but I gotta make videos.
The rest of us have kind of like my channel's definitely blown up and gone kind of peaked out and then blown up again and then kind of peaked out. Like I know that if I follow trends and get really into certain things, and if I put the work into it, I can do that. And I think Crispy's has definitely done that. Sharps has definitely done that. Ham has definitely done that. Believe it or not, Ham's channel actually used to fucking kill it. But I think Chaos has always had kind of like a steady growth.
Yeah.
But then when he's, his humor is so, I guess, I think he's one of the funniest people in the world. But I think
Oh,
like
he
in the
is.
Call of Duty videos and the group videos, it didn't really come out. But then he found fucking Fortnite. And
Yeah.
he just exploded, found his like niche, and has really gone off with it. So I think he's really trying to ride that wave, and respect to that grind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's killing
But
it.
we'll get him out. He's actually really funny in a video. And he's kind of the same person in a club, believe it or not. He's still that same carefree, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
His demeanor doesn't change at all. But I also want to go over to the UK and visit Teddy. We could vlog that. Like, I know a lot of these things sound a little bit more expensive rather than the day-to-day things, but it's just I did daily vlogs. I did the vlogs just like, doing the same thing. And not that I don't want to continue to do them. Like, I want to, do some cool stuff and then have those kind of be the
Right.
fillers.
Yeah.
Type
And you
of-
just
type of
got to
deal.
change up the routine to make those day-to-day things interesting.
Well, I think that this should be good news somewhat for my viewership for the vlogs is, doing the daily vlogs kind of killed it. And, and I say that proudly because there's no daily vloggers left. And
Yeah.
because it does just kill the creativity in it.
Yep.
So I wanted to kind of do more of your approach where I film like a whole bunch of stuff and then one vlog a week, I, get my creativity out. Because my
Right.
favorite part of making the vlogs was the 30 seconds of music and cinematics I would put at the beginning. Like that was literally where I would get all my creativity out and I would love it. And it was my favorite
And see,
part.
for me right now, when it comes to vlogging, the only reason I'm doing every other day is because for me right now in this point in my life, there's just so much going on.
Yeah. Well, no,
There's
there's
so
definitely
much going on.
like how you approach it. Like in the beginning, like people ask me, what kind of video should I make in the beginning when people were just starting? I'm just like, it actually doesn't matter as long as you make them.
Yeah.
As long as you make just constant content to get your name out there and kind of develop some of a community. And then when you've got that behind you, you can just kind of mold what you want.
Right, because I know at a point when like it's I'm in TK, it's out there, we're moved, we've been
now.
there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But like months to come, maybe a year, like if vlogs keep coming and there's new things, like new stuff happening, to a point it's just going to be we got our house, Megan's got her job, and we're living in that area. So obviously then I think it'll slow down, to one a
That
week.
all being said, though, it is all in our heads.
Yeah.
Because almost anyone who would watch the vlogs would tell me if you just kept daily vlogging and showing the bullshit you guys do around the house, like you probably would have kept growing and we would all still loved your shit.
Yeah.
And I'd have been like, fuck yeah, I know this. Like I know that. But I'm one of those people. I like to jump around.
You want to entertain. It's not a negative thing. You genuinely want to push yourself.
Yeah, you want to grow, and almost that's not just for content creators. Anybody in any career, they want to have some growth and some change. Most people change their careers like 5 times in their job title 20.
It's just human core. I think getting stagnant and complacent is like really unhealthy.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really not necessarily what it was. Was just that I kept on wanting to try new things.
Yeah.
And then and a lot of it. It's the stuff that you guys get to see. So it's really hard to even kind of defend those decisions because you didn't see the reasons why. And that's because, I was handling Team Caliber.
Right.
And so much of my time, almost 6 hours of every day was spent answering emails, making phone calls, going in meetings and stuff like that. And none of that resulted in a stream, a tweet, a video, or anything. And I couldn't. Like even when I was traveling, I was going to like literally the worst part is I went to all these like ball clubs or basketball teams, arenas. And I got the backstage tour. I got to see the locker rooms of like all these teams, and not just like 1 or 2, like literally like 6 different NBA teams. And I couldn't tweet a thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't Instagram a thing. I couldn't show a thing because obviously it's a meeting that you're not supposed to go out. So I'm meeting with this guy. I'm meeting with this and this and this and this because I wasn't there for that purpose. I was there to pitch our team.
The cool thing I'm like got me really happy about this group is you guys are not oblivious to what the success that you have found so far, but you're also not like you guys want more. Like you want to push in different directions and you want to find those next things. And like I think a lot of people would 3 of the guys in the house have 1 million subscribers. I think a lot of people would hit those numbers and then just be like, oh, I'm cool, I can do my thing. Like I've made it, I've hit 1 mil. But like you guys it seems like you guys have.
Did that.
Well, I mean, for a second, but like,
at least I did.
But you're not like that now. Like I can genuinely see like you want to engage with people more. You want to figure out the next things, and you're not just like living off of it.
Just quality of life.
Yeah.
Some of it was like for the first time ever, I had some financial freedom. Kind of wanted to like up my, it was mainly my dad yelling at me. He was like, yeah, well, every time we talk to you, you're always working. You can't do anything. You're always working. Whenever we plan something for you, you're really stressed out when you're there. Because when you're blowing up and you have to take a week off, like you can't concentrate on anything else. So a lot of it was just like really low quality life. So really, I agree with you, but it was like I almost want to drive like a line like 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50, I want to see where my content goes, but really I'm kind of just thankful for what I have.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And the other half is I just want to improve my quality of life, not so much like with the house or the car I drive in, because those things don't matter to me, but like the relationships I have with my friends, the things we're going to do, you know, the experiences I'm having, you know, because we are getting older and, you know, I can't be this child forever. I'm going to do it as long as I fucking can. But like eventually I might have to.
Casey Neistat lives a pretty freaking child, like
on videos. He's got 2 kids and a wife and a business.
And I think he's still a giant child with all those kids in business. Like I think he lives.
Sitting next to David Dobrik, I don't think so.
Okay, well that's true.
Yeah, and I've seen them tuna vlogs, and you think that, you know,
yeah,
riding a motorized skateboard around New York is pretty cool. Lighting it on fire and jumping it over all your friends is the difference between being a kid and, you know, being a youthful adult.
I would just definitely say I think we still have plenty of time to grow businesses in our career and whatever we do, and still like
I feel like those kinds of things are going to happen when I become more of an adult.
Yeah,
because I'm going to eventually transition over into like what I want to be in is the larger gaming industry, and you know just to work in, you know, an office and lead a team and create something amazing.
Yeah.
And try to be those people, and you know, and I'll probably spend some time working my way up too. But at the same time, like that's a goal I want to do eventually, but like I might wait a little longer so I look a little older and, you know, maybe, you know, calm down a bit for my ambition wise, because having too much ambition can definitely hurt you.
Oh yeah.
You know, having ambition beyond your means type of thing. You know, if you get a job and you're talking about you can't wait to do the CEO's job, that's not going to come over well.
No.
And then plus, you know, a lot of it's, you know, that's one area, and the other half is, you know, I've saved up quite a lot of capital. It might be time to join up with some other friends that have saved up some capital, maybe start something, whether it's a platform or a gaming, you know,
it's interesting to see where you are with things, because like I feel like I'm getting more, so like you have put yourself in a situation to have enough financial capital with yourself and you're, you know, finally
very, very lucky.
But like my situation is you know, I mean it's
I've got some years on you.
Yeah, well, I mean what, 3, 4?
How old are you?
29, about to be 30.
Oh, please, thank God, another 30-year-old.
I know. I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped.
It's just me and him right now.
Ready for like, you know, big 30. Like, you know, I don't know, get out of my 20s.
I wasn't pumped to turn 30. I wasn't.
Well, when you were like in your mid 20s, I think 20-year-olds nowadays, like there's a lot of dumb 20-year-olds, and I'm just ready to get out of that. Like, oh, that's a 20-year-old in 2019.
Well, you don't look like you're that dumb 20-year-old. Like I could be that dumb 20-year-old.
I don't know.
People usually have one conception of me, and then they hear me talk, and they usually comment on, "Oh wow, honestly, that was a night and day difference. I did not expect you." It's happened numerous times, like especially in all those meetings I was talking about. Because I mean, I was well dressed. I look like a child, and I'd come in there and talk about, you know, actual business stuff.
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't just come in there and talk about, oh, we need to get on Twitter, we need to get a videographer, we need to do all this stuff. I was talking about, you know, like managing cost, cash flow,
long-term projection and ROI,
you know,
and everything.
Managing, you know, literally the different departments of how we need to have those work together. I was talking about, you know, infrastructure stuff, you know, financing, all this.
But what's interesting is like you're that adult type, because you've made a lot of comments while I was here of you know, of the college and saving and make sure you save all your money. I'm like, yeah, I can, because like for me, where I'm getting like more relaxed now, it's not because I have a lot of money saved. It's because years ago when I first got into the credit world, the debt world, like I put myself in a financial ruin, and I'm finally like, I think it's a lot of people. Yeah, I worked really hard over the last 4 years to get out of that, and like I'm finally about to that point where it's just like the window is done. Like I'm just like, I'll be in debt, but it'll be like major, you know, just the home and pretty much paying off the rest of the truck. Which is
like, you know, good debt to have.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I feel like that's how, like, I could go on forever and I won't, because I don't want to bore my viewers, but like, like the credit, the way the world, especially this country, and just all of business down from large, you know, conglomerates all the way down to your consumers, credit runs the whole world.
Yeah.
Like everyone is like doing that way of things. And I'm a little more old school, and I'm from a point of being so broke, and I've managed and worked so hard to avoid debt because I didn't have college loans. Like I went on grants and scholarships and shit like that. So, you know, and I had a little help from my grandparents with food and rent and things like that. So like, you know, the idea of taking on any major debt was scary to me, to the point where I didn't go get a car loan until I had enough money, if I had to, just buy it.
Yeah.
Like if the worst comes to worst, I could just pay it off and boom, nightmare over.
That's definitely probably something I should have waited on. For sure.
No, because, you know, if you're smart and you can take advantage of the way this credit world's set up, because that's why it's set up. It's so that, you know, people like you and me back then can take advantage of it to get our life going and to make ends meet. And plus, some things you don't need to pay for up front. Like when you buy a house, you don't need to pay for it.
Oh
up
yeah,
front. You're going to use it over 30 years. You should pay for it over 30 years.
When we talk credit and debt and stuff, you get a couple people in stream that are just like, you do not need to go into debt, and I'm like, good luck getting a house, bud.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's impossible.
Good luck actually. Like if you're young and you have like $20,000 and you buy a trailer, like okay, I guess you've proved me wrong, but like. I mean, if you're in your mid-20s and you're getting married and you're wanting to start a family, you're going to be looking at $150,000 home most of the time on average around this side of the United States.
Yeah, and
it's like I don't think you have that much saved up by that time if you've gone. Oh no,
it's impossible. And this is a principle that, like, you know, all the accounting people out there will know what I'm talking about, because you know we're in college broke. Yeah. With school loans, learning about things like depreciation and amortization, which is when you basically use an asset over a certain amount of years. That's when you recognize the cost of that asset. Right. So it's offset by the profit that it's producing, and that's how you run on the books a profitable company, even though you know you're not actually making any money, type of thing. Right. But you really are, because you're literally spending the money as you consume the asset, type of thing. And, you know, so when it comes to credit loan and things like that, I was like, well, yeah, why would I pay for a house write-up? I'm not going to use it all at once. I'm going to use it over 30 years. And different things like that. Cars is a different thing, because you actually kind of consume a car. Yeah. A house with the land, you don't really consume.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, its value is going to whittle down to nothing.
Whereas, yeah.
Whereas a house and land doesn't.
That was like my big thing back then. That was like the mistake what I made when I got my first car. Is I got like a Charger, you know, because I could afford to make the payment. So I didn't bury myself in anything. But I didn't do a lot of research of, okay, what will that car, you know, it will cost me this now. In 5 years, what will it be worth? And that's why I did move into the truck world.
Not everyone wants to resell a car, although everyone does. Yeah. After 3 or 4 years, you want a new car. It's
I have fully 100% accepted the last like 5 years. I think I'm a little bit of materialistic. I like with certain things. When it comes to vehicles, like Megan's parents, which Megan is my wife for anybody that doesn't know. When Megan's parents asked me why would you get a car loan? Why would you get it? Because I get a good feeling driving around in a lifted black truck.
There's two kinds of materialism.
How I feel.
There's two kinds of materialism. There's people who like stuff because they like it, and there's people that like stuff so they can show it off. Yeah. So like. Yeah, I got a little bit of heat when I went and bought my Tahoe, because it's you know, it's kind of like a grandma's car or an older person's car, for the reason of it's having so much space and you kind of just lug people around, and it's not fancy or fast or foreign. Dude. I mean, I love it. It was actually my dream car. And the reason why I was getting a little bit of heat is because I could have, for that same amount of money, because that's a $70,000 car, I could have gone a really nice Mercedes, a really nice BMW, or
I mean, my truck was like in the mid 50s, and somebody was like, dude, it was right around like the point of like a really nice, you know, efficient car, you know, and I was like,
and my car will last for forever, like literally forever, as long as.
But my thing is too, it's like just to the core of me as a person, like I feel extremely safe and comfortable in that truck.
Oh yeah, I like truck. Actually, I say all this, but I was like, low-key, I want to trade mine in to get a truck almost.
I feel so comfortable in like the Tahoe, for example.
It's just got 90 airbags. You're safe as fuck in there.
Yeah, you know you're good.
But yeah, what my point was I was trying to get to is just that, you know, there's like the difference there. So when I say I'm not materialistic, it's almost like kind of bullshit, because I did spend a dumb amount on my car. Yeah. It's just that I bought a car that I liked that was reasonable for my tastes, rather than a car I could pull up to a gas station. People go, "Whoa, what's that young kid stepping out of a $70,000 BMW?" And not that you can get a really nice Mercedes BMW for that amount of money, but you can get those cars. Yeah. And that was the kind of thing. And not to say that it's even wrong. It's just there's two kinds of materialism. And we're all guilty of it. Yeah. Type of thing.
100%.
Like my version of materialism, and I think I bring it up every now and again. It almost comes off as bragging, but I almost kind of like influence the people around me. Is my biggest part of materialism is I like having a fat bank account. And that's it. Like I don't spend it. Like I've saved 90% of every dollar I've ever made, and I keep it there. And I say fat relatively. Like everyone else that's a big YouTuber, my idea of a fat bank account, being ex-broke college kid, is probably nothing compared to them. Oh yeah. But compared to like a real world person with my age, like I'm definitely on a higher tier of someone who's probably earned as much as I have in my short years.
Oh, 100%.
But that's my form of it. Like I don't like go buy an Audi or a really fancy house or a really fancy car, or buy really fancy clothes all the time. And if I do, I never wear them. Yeah. Same with my shoes. I buy fancy shoes. I did it one time. I've never worn them. type of thing. It's just I prefer to have that security. My materialism is having that security. If the whole world my whole world burns down, like I've got a solid like number of years to figure out the next step before I taste desperate.
And see, it's things like that like it scares a lot of people, because like I'm just now gonna. Megan and I both are just going to be getting in that point where we can just start building up our bank account.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
A large majority of what we make. So I'll be 29, she'll be 27. Well, we'll be to the point where, you know, our income to debt ratio is just astonishingly different now, to where it's like, you know.
To give you a parallel, I had just graduated school at that age, and I was still living off of like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And that's with rent. So I had like $200 for food.
So to put it in perspective, about a year and a half ago, I had gotten my minimum like monthly like rate of living. What I needed to survive as an adult was at like, I think it was around like $3,000. And in the next few months, after paying off a couple finally long-term things, I think it'll be down to like $1,400, like $1,400 a month to have a house and a truck and have insurance and everything. So obviously I don't look forward to only making that bare minimum.
Yeah, no, you got to think like that though.
Right, but the objective is like to keep making the same amount of money, and literally you're putting half away, and that's like what I'm really pumped about, is just to be able to.
Oh yeah, I say the 90% even that's
back.
Almost kind of a flex, but you got to think like there's a lot of benefits that we get. Like, you know, the team house. Like I haven't had to pay any of that stuff for a while.
Right now,
I feel like that's almost what I pay myself from TK, because I've never paid myself from Team Caliber. This has been a labor of love. You know, it's been my passion project to help my friends out and anybody else that, you know, wants to join the team type of thing. But to say I've got nothing out of it's wrong. Like I've gotten to live, you know, rent free and bill free. Like, you know, and I paid off the car. So now like my only bills are my insurance and my cell phone.
Yeah.
And that's literally the only reoccurring payment I have. And you know, and that's how we were able to do that kind of stuff. But before that team house, you know, it wasn't like we were living somewhere fancy. Like I was, you know, even during all those times where I was on that come up, it's not like I instantly went and got a really nice place. It's not like I instantly went and got a really nice car. Actually, I did kind of do that because I didn't have a car and I needed one. But like, I swear to God, like eventually you might see it, like maybe 5-10 years from now or wherever, you know, you will enjoy that security and that bank account much more than that Mercedes, Audi stuff. And I'm obviously talking like from a reasonable point of view.
Well, I had a
like
taste
the rich people and the rappers, they can go blow all that cash.
I had a taste of it last year. I had just made so much, and it was like the contracted job that I had last year just went into savings automatically. And at one point, I had like 10 times the amount that I most ever had in my savings, you know, and it was like I didn't want to let it go.
Oh no,
I didn't want to buy anything. I didn't want
to,
but like I just knew then. I'm like, I'm paying month to month on debt, and I have money. I'm like, just get rid of this debt. Like, get rid of it.
Oh, is that what you did? You just
I'm like, just
Good.
get rid of it. I cleared out like $12,000 to $15,000 of debt last year alone.
Good stuff.
Just like dumb debt, and then obviously that's not including what I paid.
I bet
on my
you
truck.
slept like a baby after that.
Oh, dude, I still do. Like I have I have months like this. It's quarterly, so I got to pay extra taxes. I've just broke my phone, so I had to get a new phone this month, and then I just, you know, I got stuff for the business, so I had to pay that stuff off.
Yeah,
and like
you have some fancy equipment too.
Well, a lot of it was thankfully sent to me. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of that stuff was honestly sent to me, like Asus, and that's not like a sponsored thing. You know, I'm not getting paid to say that. It's just a company that genuinely.
They're great. They're freaking awesome. They always have been.
And they're just they're killing it right now.
No,
in
they
the
have.
whole game. But yeah, I mean,
there's some companies that just get it.
Yeah, they do. Long-term longevity. They understand
like
now.
GFUEL's another company I feel like just gets it. They
SCUF
just get it.
You know,
yeah, SCUF's like they get it like in a different way. They're like, that's why I want to get Duncan on here. Is they're not as visible as GFUEL, but they're on the back end doing real business deals.
Yeah,
like, you know, I've been like they're
save
it
for them.
Yeah,
because I know I can see the sparkle in your eye. Like,
because it's so interesting.
It is. I know.
It's
you
so
told me about it in the last one. I'm like, God, it is. But yeah,
it's just like, there's so many different ways to approach business, and then it's kind of crazy.
Speaking of business, I know something I wanted to get on here before this podcast today. Not doing the next one. We need to talk some current stuff.
Yeah, no, we probably
there's a lot, because we talk about things come and go with waves, and there's a lot of wave stuff happening with teams this last 5 months.
It's like I almost debated talking about it because it almost sounds negative, and I kind of like my channel being a happy, light, you know, lofty area where you can come be a child, because that's what I treat it as. Yeah. But yeah, no, the esports world, you know, and I actually got in trouble for predicting a lot of this stuff. And it's not like I'm some Nostradamus person. It's pretty easy to tell. Yeah. But I would use the term bubble a lot.
Yeah.
And not so much a bubble as in the viewership would pop and the people would stop playing video games, but like it just, if you drive the value up so much, eventually it's going to stop.
Right.
And a lot of companies are
that's how the
to
market goes. That's what. So a little lesson for a lot of younger people in here that to understand things better. That's the idea of the market. It gets everything becomes value. 2008 was houses. Everybody was getting a house. Like nobody was doing check. And the reason why it crashed is because the bubble burst. Like it just.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily the right way to say
right.
Because it wasn't a bubble. That was a subprime. That was terrible bankers, the subprime market, and a really stupid consumer base.
Right.
All combined in a system that they were promised that would
it
never
was just
fail.
destiny.
So
Destiny.
It
to
was
fail.
a bubble that finally popped, but like a bubble is like, when something skyrockets and then it finally hits a peak. Whereas the housing market, that problem had been building for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Well, but I was just trying to like put it in perspective of that's, I mean, I feel like in the gaming community and in content creation, we need to take it more serious and understand like trends.
Well,
and waves
let me
and
kind of
stuff.
explain this. So the esports bubble is not your typical bubble.
Yeah.
It's not a bubble that's going to pop because of lack of growth. Because it's still esports hasn't scratched the surface of where it's going to be.
Right.
The bubble of what it is when a bunch of money comes into a market. Obviously they all see the value, they see the future of a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But what's been happening in esports is it's literally the fastest growing multimedia marketplace in the world. Not just esports, just digital internet video, content creators, all of it all together. Gaming, interactive gaming, content, games themselves, everything skyrocketed.
So many eyes on it.
But with esports, where the bubble comes from is these people that came in that, invested a lot of money, and they have almost unlimited financial resources, meaning they can always go talk to someone else and bring a new partner in. And that's really what brought the real value. A lot of the times when I was looking for a partner, it wasn't really as much as how much money they had now and the money they were talking about now. I was more of who could they go get more money from, because it's a longevity game.
Right.
So I feel like companies, I don't know this because I don't know anyone from Infinite. I know of them. But like companies like them who invested in and saw all the same things, the bright lights and everything that everyone else sees, started to see that this money that they thought they were going to invest and start seeing some gains on was going to be a 5-10 year investment. Well, as more and more and more money gets in, and you get more and more companies that realize that the growth is just scratching the surface and that esports could grow over 15 years and 10 years, are starting to position themselves to basically kind of lose money up until that realization. And some companies are like, damn, not that it's not growing, not that it's going to be not a good investment. It's just what we thought we were going to be able to reap some benefits from in 5 years has now become 10, which has now become 15. And, if you look at the NFL and the NBA, those gains could not come for 20 years.
Right.
Because to keep up with the growth of sports and your competitors, you might have to continually invest constantly and losing money for decades before it can finally reach its thing. And the dream is to have like a Dallas Cowboys teams in 9 different regions with 9 different, consumer bases and 9 different games and 9 different teams. When you think how rich, the Dallas Cowboys are, the New England Patriots, imagine having 8 of those teams in different Asian, one Asian esport, a South American esport, an American esport, a European esport, and you basically owning that large of a corporation in each spot and in a multimedia spotlight. I mean, the dollars, even me just saying that, should every investor in the world, they tingle, because that's unlimited growth. But the problem with unlimited growth is that you don't know when it's going to stop.
Right.
And predicting that is what might pre-pop the esports bubble, is in that people might start to pull out because there's no end in sight. When you have, mega companies getting like Infinite, I don't know their financial resources, but when they entered the game, they weren't going up against, the owner of an NBA team linking up with 7 outside of NRG, linking up with 7 movie stars and then Drake, and then having that kind of multimedia force, or just all those things coming in, a whole bunch of people who's already rich, and can afford to basically invest in something that long to realize the next mega empire.
Right.
So we for us, an example, I was building a team and a gaming organization, not a multimedia company. And now the people that were building it for multimedia companies are starting to realize, oh, we were trying to do that, not build empires. And then the people that were building empires are starting to realize, oh, we wanted to build an empire, not a multinational conglomerate.
Gotcha.
So it's like, that's when I say a bubble. And, saying that in a room of people, of investors, to say it as concise as that, it's not necessarily, I don't even think I can hold their attention that long. But that is the negative side of esports, is that it's growing so fast and has so much interest that, you know, the Hexes of the world, the me of the world, and a lot of us have been kind of either pushed aside or simulated, because there's people like Jason Lake who, you know, built Complexity and said, you know, I don't have anywhere near what this empire conglomerate's going to take. And then they take a very small percentage of their ownership and they keep that and they sell the rest and they go to work. They go to work in an office. Hex was never obviously wanting to do that ever. It was very evident. I never wanted to do that.
Right.
Not, well, at least not at this age.
Right.
Because like a lot of them wanted me to just, you know, they wanted to sell, they wanted to buy Team Caliber, get rid of all our content creators, all that stuff, put it in, and put me in an office and start building a company like that. And I was like all for it. But then, you know, I really started to think about it. It's like, am I ready to do that? Do I want to do that? Do I want to toss aside Sharp and Cam and Chaos and all those guys and go work in an office and build the Team Caliber? I was like, well, that's not really what Team Caliber was. And then there was the opposite too. So that combination of stuff has led to, you know, Obey and Optic possibly disappearing, which is freaking hell sad.
It's crazy.
They're a piece of mind.
Red's gone.
Well, Red was gone before them. They were just, I think they were investors, were the guys who owned Orbit.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't really know. Again,
I didn't dive deep much into a lot of it.
Well, because people with money start to realize that, you know, there's always a bigger fish that has more money, and that person can always outspend you.
Yeah.
And in a game like this, like esports, which I called really early on, it's the only reason why we're still around. Is in the very back of the day, in the before the New York house, I told them as we were blowing up, I was like, you know, we need to balance our need to grow with balance to survive.
Yeah.
And making me sound like so pessimistic. Even the whole bubble rant makes me sound so pessimistic. But I'm from the accounting world and stuff like that. Everything either makes sense or doesn't. I'm not going to spend money and then just hope something happens, like ever, like never.
Yeah.
And that definitely impeded our growth. But it also made it where we're still around 5 years later and have seen the coming and going of, can't even say hundreds of teams that would come in and they'd have 9 teams and they'd blow up and they'd be all over the place and they'd steal players and content creators, and then 6 months later, bye-bye, they're gone. They're folded.
It's so crazy.
And it's because they just didn't have the money to keep up with that, or, which I think they actually always do, because these people aren't stupid, but they see who they're up against. Yeah. And they're like, wow, they can outspend me for way longer. And, you know, and buy the hype, because, you know, and I said it a long time ago, as another really negative, pessimistic kind of put on, is esports is for sale. It's not something that, you know, people own. Like, you know, like me and Hex and, you know, the Hastro and all the other big team owners, we never at any point owned esports. It was always for sale.
Well, I see
the highest bidder.
I see a lot of questions for you. What's the deal? What do you guys want to do with like TK and like Call of Duty and esports?
Well, see, we have a bunch. Well, obviously Call of Duty's out of the question. And not so much so that, because it's half and half. Actually, it's more like 75, 25%. 75% of the reason is because we didn't meet the right partner that had that amount of money that thought Call of Duty was like a good place to put it. And 25% of the reason why they think that, and the reason why we didn't get the money, is I agreed. You know, I would tell them, like, as much as I believe in Call of Duty, I don't know about spending this much money. And not so much so that if you give it to me, I wouldn't spend it. Don't worry. But more so, I'm watching it and kind of.
No, I got a text.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that? I thought you were checking the time to make sure we didn't ramble on forever.
No, young Sharp texted me, so he must be on his way.
Oh, okay. So it was. I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it was more so that, like, if you gave me that amount of money, I would spend it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, there's some definitely ground roots ways to grow an esports company, and that's because that's my expertise. You know, I think every esports team we've ever competed against started with millions of dollars in capital, or generically grew or naturally grew, like FaZe and Optic, and still they did extremely well. You know, we built Team K with nothing.
Yeah.
Like literally no money, and grew it and continued to grow it and kept it alive with, you know, nothing comparatively. Yeah. Like, we were bringing in maybe at our peak like $20,000-$30,000 of income in sponsorship revenue a month, and instantly spent it on pro players, like instantly. Yeah. So every single month we were down to, like, we ran it at a broke even scale, like 100%. And not only that, I had content creators. Like, over half of our sponsorship income has always gone to pay for things for our, you know, content creators. Because instead of salary, you know, we always did team houses and airplane flights and the billions of other hidden costs that I feel like a lot of investors don't know about running a team. And there's a shit ton of them. And even when you see rich people come in who actually come in and brag about how rich they are, you know, they come and go. And it's just because, like, you know, it's a hard business to invest in and compete in against the big guys, unless you get incredibly lucky, like we did. And we did it twice. We got incredibly lucky. So
So there's probably going to be a lot more ups and downs in esports.
Yeah. So I guess if to answer your question about Team Caliber, like what's the future of Team Caliber, is I don't know. We're set up for a lot of different things. We could grow to be a platform, or we could grow to be back into esports. A lot of it's if we meet the right partner, which are continually ongoing. I've just signed some new agents, and they're starting to look in some more aggressively in some different fields. But at the same time, we don't know. Like, our channels could blow back up, and we could ended up being more of like a sideman team. Because competing again, putting all of our money, because we did that. Every cent that these content creators and myself ever earned in the name of Team Caliber, we always paid the pro players.
Yeah.
Well, half of it, because we spent the rest on the TK house and stuff like that. But it's like, at what point do we continue to do that, or what point do we kind of continue to focus on ourselves and what we're doing? Because we're not like experts at esports,
right?
Outside of Sharp, we're experts at making content and using little tiny means to grow something big in social media. Maybe we should concentrate on that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it's my mindset is to just not get too ahead of myself. Don't want to beat myself up.
Just kind of roll with the punches and like.
We've always done it. We're survivors. We're grinders. We do what we do. We've always been kind of the team of the unpopular people type of thing. Like that was always the people we represented. Like FaZe has got the rappers and the chains and the money and the cool kids. Like they're the cool kids. We've always represented the other group. Yeah. The social misfits a little bit. Because that's who we are. We're the extra introverted people. We've always had a little quirky. We were never the type that kept up with the latest lingo and nicest clothes. And, met up with only other popular people. Like I think I'm the only large YouTuber I've ever met that kind of didn't go branch out with other large YouTubers. Like my channel blew up and I stayed with the same people.
Right.
At forever. If anything, the people that blew up around me kind of left to do exactly that. And you couldn't blame them because they're doing what's best for their career. But at the same time, that's just never been me.
Right.
So it's like almost our way of growing and who we are kind of keeps us away from being that. But at the same time, like, that's okay. Like, that's kind of what I built it for. That's kind of what I wanted it to be. We don't have to be number 1 or even 10th place. It was more just like I wanted our place.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And that's because, we have some really level-headed people. I'm a level-headed person. I don't need to be the richest, fanciest, most popular person. I don't have to be. It might be nice to have it happen, but if it's going to happen, I want it to happen this way.
I don't think I could ever get to a big, rich fame life and still not really work hard for something else.
Yeah, but
I just can't. I can't just chill. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm sure I could like you explained, you never really had the opportunity to just relax.
Oh yeah,
I
definitely reliving my 20s that I missed out on because I was in school the whole time, right?
A couple years ago, when I was, I definitely had that whole phase of going through these teams and stuff and developing a bit of an ego and whatnot. And one thing that just really helped me get over that ego and just really accept me is understanding, not holding on to things. And so I guess a couple years is I've been in these teams and it's cool to talk about the history of the community and everything, but I don't hold on to it because I'm just a completely different person. So it is. It's I think it's more sad for the people that I know that feeling, what it was like to be part of something like that. And I know some of these kids are just now experiencing that. And then for them to not be able to experience it, that sucks. But yeah, at the end of the day though, Red, Obey, none of the teams are what they was when I was in them. Yeah. They were completely different worlds.
Well, Soar's still pretty, they sold, but they sold for their team house.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it's another thing I don't know. The only thing I've heard is that they got bought and brought on as a content team, and their way of being compensated for that was they got that team house, which is really freaking nice.
Yeah.
So some of them, they're still kind of keeping to their roots things. They dabbled in esports too. I think our first time we played in PAX, when we had a COD team, there was a sword team there. Methods was leading them.
I was in SOAR when Methods was in SOAR.
Yeah, I like Methods. Yeah. But it's definitely, letting things go. You definitely learn. I feel like as a creator, one of the talents you learn, and sometimes they don't learn till late, like Tati's a really good example of someone who didn't learn this, is that, you don't want to necessarily always concentrate on yourself. You don't. But when negative stuff happens and people fuck you over and someone did you wrong, there's 2 types of reactions. One, you can make a video and call them out and be that person.
Right.
Or you do what I've always done is you kind of all right, well, that sucks because for you, because you're the shitty person now.
Yeah.
I don't have to say it to everyone, but I'll concentrate on me and not necessarily like I'm going forward. I'm only going to talk about myself. But whereas in this situation, I'm not going to concentrate on you, the person who fucked me over. I'm going to concentrate on me, the person who got fucked over, and just go on with my life.
Earlier,
because like it's not that like you're not I don't want to make my thing bashing on you. And
earlier in my career, I
don't need revenge.
Right. Earlier in my career, I definitely I was that realm of like when I would move on from a team. It wasn't like I was like hopping all the time. I was in Darth for I know, but like it's when we talk about this in history, when I'm like, oh, I was in Darth, I was in SOAR, I was in Obey, I was in Red.
That's so cool. That's the one team I always wanted to be on.
Right, but like when I say that, people are like, oh my god, you really hopped around. But I'm like, dude, I was in Obey for nearly like 2 years. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
we're just kidding with the team hopping thing.
Right,
He's another old school guy. He's been in COD in the communities for like 6-7 years.
Right,
so.
But it's just like that was one thing I had to get over. Is like every time I would leave a team, I would like make a video because I knew like people would want to know why.
Doing it respectfully is one thing,
right?
Like like there's definitely like to compare the Tfue and FaZe thing, compare that with the Nick Mercs and Nade Shot thing. It's night and day difference.
Right?
How those two people
definitely.
And and not to say neither one of them was right or wrong, or even to say what I would do in this certain situation, because I seriously feel for FaZe.
Yeah.
But I also understand, because I've like literally represented so many pro players and
nobody could have predicted.
I kind of know where Tfue's coming from as well, but I don't have the facts to go on it. I just kind of feel like
such a tough.
There's got to be something there,
right.
Like one thing they've never mentioned is his salary. Like they've never taken any money from him, or they took $60,000 off a brand deal. Was like, did they ever talk about how much they were paying him? Because I don't think they would lose money on the guy.
Right.
So if they've only taken $60,000 from him, I don't think they paid him more than $60,000 either in salary. So you don't really know any of the situation. But like I more like how Nick Mercs and Nade Shot handled it is more like how we've handled things when,
right.
We've never done that one. We've never promised ownership to a company and not given it. We've never, promised anything to anyone and not done exactly that. That's the one form of pride I have, is anytime I signed a contract for the pro player, made a deal, whether it was verbal or handshake or over the internet with anybody, I've always 100% done that. That's like my one thing in this community I can say is I can point around to everybody, literally everyone, say, there's been a time where you did this and then you said that, but not this dude. I've done everything I've ever said I was going to do. I've always done, type of thing. But, it's hard. It was one of the most difficult things in the world. And I was always a little bit older, so I had that, advantage. But like I said, I don't need revenge. And, to not seek that all the time, it can be better for yourself, and it's how you professionally handle it. But I didn't say that you're actually in a world where every fucking person does that. Right. Everyone, if you fuck them over, they're tweeting about it, Instagramming it, making a video about it before they even called you.
Yep.
Like, so when I watched that Tati video, I instantly saw, I think it was me and sadly enough, Keemstar was like the only other person that saw that video. Was just like, what? This is a fucking hit job. This is a bunch of fucking bullshit against a 19-year-old kid. This woman's 40, like just literally doing a hit job on this kid because she feels a little backstabbed. And like what he did is something that happens in this community all the time. How many of my good friends and teammates got a better offer and went to another team who's my direct competitor? How many people have left our team, because they got a sponsorship offer from someone that was a competitor of our sponsor, and they did it, and we're happy for them. Fuck yeah, your career's growing, you're making more money.
Yeah, good for you.
It's a good opportunity. And here I see someone doing the exact same thing and making a fucking hit job video on him. I was like, that's total horseshit.
Yeah.
And that's because she wanted revenge. And, as you get older and if you've been a creator for long enough, the rest of us see it too. You see a hot brand new creator bitching about people stealing their ideas or their thumbnails or they did this or that. And it's just like, it might be true and you might make jokes about it, but for you to tweet it out and make a damn video about it and try to ruin this other person, that need for revenge is like the most unprofessional thing you really ever do. And I think that's really why everyone sided with Banks and FaZe so much. It was just like, they could have handled all that shit under the table. Like they could have, like they looked like they were friends. There wasn't, I don't think, to compare the Nick Mercs and Nade Shot, like there was a lie there somewhere. Someone said something and it didn't happen. There were no fucking lies in the FaZe and Tfue thing. He signed a contract. He knew exactly what it was. No one misrepresented shit, and it ended up somewhere where they didn't like. So just to kind of compare the two ways that it's being handled, and not to say either one's right or wrong, and that's kind of where you're kind of stuck.
Right.
That's what I'm afraid is going to be lost in esports. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it'll always have a home in creators and Twitch. Is that realness of that kind of drama not being hidden for the sake of professionalism to gain attention and views and have a community that actually knows who you are and what you're doing.
Right.
Like, going forward in esports, you're not going to get that anymore. Not with these big mega companies with mega family brands behind them, and they've got, something happens on this company that affects 9 others.
Right.
You're not going to get that shit anymore.
No.
And that's almost what made it so fucking interesting. I remember my first event was UMG Atlanta, and I went there and I saw fucking Killa get up there and fucking, fuck your salary, fuck you the crowd, we're champions, well, fuck all you guys. And he was making fun of Hastro, and I was just like, holy shit, I'm home. This is fucking funny. This is great. And I would, every single time I'd go there, I'd watch my own team, of course. But then I'd go into the fucking open bracket and just look at kids just fucking hella talking shit. And it was fucking great. But no, all that's gone. So you don't necessarily, even with the 2 approaches, because it kind of sounds like I'm making one out to sound like angels and the other guys sound out to be
right, yeah,
unprofessional. That unprofessionalism grows fucking esports in internet companies. That realness, that not fakery, the being fucking, whoever.
Being you, yeah.
I mean, you're not, the owner of Tesla. You can smoke weed on a fucking podcast and no one's going to bite your head off. Well, not in esports anymore. Yeah, with FaZe Clan having that video with all of them taking bong rips, competing against each other, that shit won't fly eventually.
Right.
And that we're going to lose that kind of in the future. And that necessarily might not be the best thing. But at the same time, maybe it's just growing past that. So, like, no one can know. There's actually no right answer in esports, and that's what makes it such a wild, wild west right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's hey, we covered our relevance part. We talked
did.
about
We
some
got
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Sorry, I just kind of ranted on there.
No, it was good because, like, for me, it's
I can
like
see it in your eyes. You were interested. I was
well,
like,
it's
keep
like
going.
I'm not like. Like I said, I never really touched base into the larger esports side. I just never did. Like I was really content creation way back in the day, and
I mean,
yeah.
I say all that, but the dream is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's still a possibility of you starting a brand with meager beginnings, just like ours. You get really lucky and you handle it right, and you find the right partner, and you can compete, and not necessarily
it's just,
at the top level.
Work really hard.
Yeah, you can compete at a level. You might not be up with the billionaire companies that can just buy your team if you beat them, because that's what happens. If you just continually beat someone and they have more money, they'll just pick off one of your players. That's just that's the history of Call of Duty, for the most part. But the dream, if you're okay with that and you don't mind not being the best, like there's that dream is still there, and then you could still get that 1% chance of being lucky enough to actually grow the company that whoops all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound defeated by any means, but it was more like I'm a responsible person. I feel like what I say into the world might do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
I say all that because I feel like that's the educated basis of what you should know before making those decisions. Whereas myself, I might take the biggest risk in the world because fuck it. It's me. I like to do that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, no, really excited to have Big E on the team. My dude is extremely talented, not only with the camera, but just getting, motivating our teammates and kind of stuff, like to just get the group together because he's someone new. We want to impress our new friend and look cool and have barbecues and stuff. But, obviously we're going to be recruiting, more and more. I do get that comment a lot. How do I join TK? A lot of
I see it all the time.
Honestly, it sounds really stuck up, but we recruit our friends because of everything we just said.
Right.
It's just like, if we're not growing the next 100T, where we can take a really cool creator that's friendly and awesome and kind of bring them in and become friends. We don't necessarily have that luxury. So we kind of like bring in our homies, and that kept our circle small and it kept our team alive for the most part. So no.
Keeps it growing.
The main part of this video is to talk about a little bit of esports, introduce Big E to you. I didn't let him talk as much. It's
because all I could relate with was just talking about designers, and last time we just talked about design the whole time, and it's like not in bad ways or anything.
It
but
was
just
a little
like,
negative.
Well,
that's half the reason why we're doing it.
A little honest.
A little too honest. Like I was saying, like earlier, it's like sometimes you gotta just pull it back a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
well, the biggest thing is it's not necessarily. It's just context. You know what I mean? It's like you can just gotta watch what you say nowadays, because like you could say one thing that like you're really specific to just a situation, but people will generalize.
See, you say that,
the whole group.
and I love throwing that little monkey wrench into everyone who ever says that. There's people that have like done the exact opposite. FaZe, Bangs, Keemstar, and their brands are bigger than they ever have been.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's because
it's just that's just how they
there's
want to do it.
There's room for everybody on the internet.
Yeah.
And really, it's up to you to do whatever you want to do and be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
And if whoever it is, you got to give them credit. If you're going to pick one side, fucking swing with it. Don't try to middle ground you, because the middle grounders are boring. So even as my content's kind of gone up and down, and I've jumped from space to space. The one thing hopefully hopefully I'm not boring.
Yeah. That's
you
my
never
biggest
know
thing.
what I'm gonna do. You know. So, anyways,
I don't want to be boring. That's my big.
I do want to close with everyone go check out SCUF Gaming. Use my damn code. But seriously, go check them out. Definitely go check out Big E. All of his links will be in the video description below. And finally, I want to see everyone supporting Dylan, Javon, Cole Chan, Suda, and TCM in Anaheim this, 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, it's.
I might even make an appearance. I'm not sure. I'm
3
trying to,
days.
if I can find like someone to like go with or just like a roommate or someone, I might make an appearance for a couple days just to go stand behind Dylan. I really just want the photo of me standing behind Dylan and watching him play again.
Yeah.
Just because I could compare it to like a photo of like back into like 2013. I've been trying to convince Sharp, but he never leaves his room. But yeah, no. So there's a little context to that, but yeah, no. Yeah. So definitely go. I want to see everyone showing them support because they're out there trying to do their thing. So I'm sure they'd really, really, really appreciate it. Seeing a little glimpse of that TK love again. But yeah, no. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Next time.
Likes and comments too. Give them likes and comments.
Yeah, that likes and comments would be great, or just pure listens. I think a lot of this goes up on other sites. But the next podcast is Dylan. As soon as he gets back from Anaheim, we'll get to talk about TK
hopefully his W.
Hopefully his W. I'm hoping I always was realistic. I'm hoping he gets like a top 30 finish. It'd be fucking dope for them, or even a top 20. Actually, no, top 30 sucks. Top 22 or something would be cool. But yeah, no, we're actually going to dive in and talk all about TK COD. All the questions you've always asked me that I haven't answered. I kind of answered them, but I didn't necessarily go into depth.
Right.
Just because it felt a little preachy a lot of the times, or just because it just wasn't the right time. That time has come. We're going to have Dylan on here. We're going to talk about everything. I'm talking how the team got formed, initial response to success, how my boy got himself kicked off that team without me having any influence at all. That was him and his teammates thing. The team afterwards, the grind to get back, his switch to streaming, our total past of Call of Duty, the transformations he's made, and I have as well, being an esports team owner. So we're gonna grab all that
episode.
Stuff. But yeah, no, he was getting prepared for Anaheim, is why he fucking canceled on me so many times. But I sent him cast so he could go. So now he has to come on the podcast. So.
Has to.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.